Hello viewers, Kubiyando Kithenkin, welcome back to I Was A Teenage Exocolonist, where I feel like things have been going too smoothly. Don't you? There hasn't been a major catastrophe for like a couple of episodes now, and somewhere simmering behind behind everything that's occurring, the adults are very worried about the state of the colony and what it's like right now, and I just feel like a shoe is about to drop. For the moment, though, I guess we will just continue on. So Nem asked us to come by the sports ball court. I don't know if it'll actually do anything different, but we're pretty close to a bravery level. Or a bravery perk, rather. We could spend a little bit of time playing sports ball. It's low stress. How's my friendship with Nem doing? I feel really bad about having forgotten her birthday, honestly. 35. And at toughness 40, we could get a red 5, which is fun. Yeah, you know what? Let's play a little sports ball. It's been a minute since we've done this. It's Sports Ball Day, organized by COM, a day devoted to sports ball and sports ball related activities. There are races where you have to bounce a ball on your head or kick it through an obstacle course, and net jumping, and even a dunk tank that Rhett and COM volunteer for. And, of course, there's a sports ball game at the end. That's what makes it Sports Ball Day, I assume. Antecedent brings all the kids from the creche, and the kitchen staff makes soy dogs right on the grill for everyone. Even Dis is here. Com must have done some hardcore convincing to get him to show up at all and actually join in the sports ball game. He's on your team and it's not going great. The flesh is here, but the spirit is clearly rebelling. Okay, we're going to take Dis's side as much as we can. Mars, why do you always have to... Dis, get the ball, you skeezy weirdo! Mars yells as the ball sails in his direction. Dis lets it soar over his head and makes an attempt at running for it, but when Nem gets there first for the opposing team, he just backs away. She crows in victory and fires it into your goal. Yeah, I don't know if this is a great setup for him. Mars stomps over to Dis. You didn't even try, she berates him. Why are you even playing if you're not going to do your best? Dis just shrinks away from her, trying to disappear into his baggy clothing. Hey, lay off of him! It's fine, Dis mumbles. I don't care about your stupid teams. I don't even want to be here. Com said it would count as school credit for physical and mental wellness. Ah, that explains some things. All the more reason for Mars to leave him the fuck alone. Dis stalks off. You see him arguing with Com on the sidelines before Com, still dripping from the dunk tank, takes his place on your team. Resume play, he says, blowing his whistle. With Com on your side, you win the game easily. The day ends with a presentation of awards. Rhett and Antecedent present everyone with a participation ribbon. She with a big smile, he with a barely contained grimace. Rhett pins your ribbon to your chest and addresses you and Mars. You did great out there. I love to see that kind of drive to succeed in our youth. You're both going to be great assets to the colony someday. Hey, listen, I'm already a great asset to the colony. Mars scoffs and flips her hair over her shoulder, but the security chief continues. If you like winning, you should come talk to me about joining the defense force when you're older. We could use strong people like you. Nearby, you see Antecedent frowning in disapproval. You, Cal, and Nem volunteer to clean up the equipment. While you're putting it away inside, you overhear Rhett and Anne in the middle of an argument. It was completely inappropriate, Antecedent says, sounding, well, more spirited than you've ever heard. You took their innocent fun and turned it into a military recruitment drive. You see it like that, Rhett retorts. But a lot of these sports ball kids, they're exactly the kind of people we want defending the colony. They're team players with dedication. They should know there's a place for them doing what they're good at. They can't play sports ball forever. But they're only children once, Anne replies. The whole point of being here is to be different from Earth. No more school to military pipeline. These kids aren't doing high school football hoping for scholarships so they don't have to join the military to go to college. Cal and Nem look at you in confusion. You don't know what they mean either. What's a college? You put the rest of the equipment away in silence. It's always weird to hear adults arguing, especially council members like Rhett and Anne. Finally, Nem speaks up. My mom is such a soggy blanket, she mutters. Chief Rhett's right. It's fine if he's just telling us we're good at stuff. She slams a bunch of hard plastic balls into the recycler. Who doesn't like being told they're good at stuff? Cal puts his armful of ropes and sacks into the recycler. No way, he says. Rhett shouldn't be trying to convince kids to join the Defense Force. That's not right. What do you think? Well, I'm trying to think about like our characters. So first of all, it's interesting. I think this is the first time we've really gotten a sense of what culture on Earth is like at the moment that the stratospheric left, right? And it's way more similar to our current culture than I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more of like a, I don't know, not necessarily a utopian Star Trek future or anything, but like, I don't know exactly. Obviously, I'm super on the side of Anne and Cal here. Is our character, though? I think so. I think we're a little rebellious. I think we don't... And honestly, I should be much more rebellious, but for some reason, the game considers a lot of things to be shows of loyalty. I'm gonna side with Anne and Cal. This makes me feel awkward. As much as I am the kind of person who, our character, is the kind of person who legitimately might end up in the Defense Force, I do think it's kind of gross to push it like this. You agree with Cal. Red isn't just being nice, he's brainwashing kids into choosing to join the Defense Force. Brainwashing's strong, but he is definitely he is trying to pretend he's doing something much more innocuous than the thing he's actually doing. Nem makes a gross sound with her mouth and crosses her arms. You finish cleaning the equipment room in silence. Cal and Nem barely look at one another and don't say goodbye when they leave. You're left with the feeling that something between them is changing forever, and you're helpless to stop it. Yeah, everybody's hormones and stuff, and... Okay, well. We have a pretty good start here. We probably just played the other two, right? This is going to give us an extra point of skill. You know, we're losing a point of kudos if we play below maximum. I think I'm okay with that. We'll take the extra toughness. We did not get an extra toughness. We got an extra bravery. From one challenge and Viki gear. Because that is a red challenge, right? Well, I guess maybe it counts as a yellow challenge. Maybe it counts as a bravery challenge, and I don't know. So do we want to keep pushing? Try to get that bravery? We get some bravery when we go outside to look for animal events anyway, so maybe not. Maybe it's just going to kind of happen on its own. And instead, we can do a little bit more xenobotany. You're really in the groove, munching on Dayglow roasted pixie beans and feeling just good. Like everything's going right for once. You catch yourself giggling for no reason. For fun, you decide to put a pixie bean through the analyzer. I mean, sure, your dad already studied them, but there's gotta be stuff you still don't know about them. Like, you only just discovered today how incandescently delicious they are roasted. Yeah, we're going to find something out about them. Maybe you could figure out why they glow. Then you can make everything glow. The analyzer spits out a bunch of info, and congruence helps you interpret it. She says, as if she really needs to ponder things. These readings are different than the initial ones, suggesting possible amplification with certain hormones for higher bioreactivity in situ. In regular words, congruence, please. Pardon me, Samhain. I mean, they might mess with human brain functions under some conditions. We should perform this analysis again. This sounds important. You run more samples of roasted pixie beans through the analyzer, but you only get more frustrated. Are you certain these are clean readings? Or clean samples? Congruence asks. I'm detecting anomalies in the readings. Excuse me for asking, but have you washed your hands? Ew, congruence, of course you have. You don't know what to do. I love the fact that there's a button for run the experiment correctly. You try everything, even scrubbing the beans clean with acid. Congruence reverts to her most robotic, focused entirely on figuring out this puzzle. When her normally chipper voice goes monotone and cold, it makes you feel so lost. You're never going to get this right. You start to feel tears prickling your eyes. Okay, it's because we have 40 biology that we're able to figure out what's wrong. You wipe your eyes and try to focus. Once the samples are finally scanned, you help Congruence run simulations to see what effect the pixie beans might have on different types of brain chemistry. Do you have permission to do this, Samhain? It requires significant power, she asks. You wave your hands at her. Of course, sure, whatever. You giggle. No one's here to stop you, right? Processing all that simulation data makes the greenhouse lights flicker. You might get in trouble for that later, but what do you care? You're doing science. Congruence chews on the results for, well, less time than it would have taken you, but still an appreciable amount of time for her, a supercomputer. She says finally. Samhain, have you been feeling not yourself lately? As if your thoughts and your reactions are more dramatic? Even more so than usual. Well, yeah, I mean, now that you think about it, yeah, of course. Obviously, we test for toxicity before we clear native plants for consumption, Congruence continues. But there are limitations. For example, accounting for the hormonal fluctuations of people undergoing puberty. Congruence explains there seems to be a chemical in the pixie beans that hyperbonds to estrogen and testosterone, and that combination of molecule activities receptors in your brain way more than just the hormones alone. The chemical will build up over weeks first, then it's going to hit a flashpoint, and you look at the beans you've been munching all afternoon. All week, in fact. Uh-oh. You call your dad in to take a look over your findings. Well, there's no way there's... He mutters as he scrolls his holopalm that he stops. Well, I'll be jiminied. How are you feeling, Samhain? You look over from where you've been balancing a simple beaker on your forehead. The beaker slides off and you bounce it off your knee a few times before catching it. Then you burst out laughing for no reason at all. Your dad blinks at you. Well, that answers my question. We've got to stop eating those beads right now. Your dad looks distraught. Flulu was right, he says, collapsing in a nearby chair and rubbing his eyes. She didn't trust these things, but, oh shit, she's going to be pissed we don't have another successful food source. You look at him in shock. You hardly ever see him swear. This must be worse than you think. This does feel like it would be a really big deal. Didn't a third of the fields get converted to pixie bean production? Your dad sits there in silence for a long time. This seems very bad. Oh shoot, and it won't let me build this straight the other way. I was gonna say just, like this. Shit. So that's a 23. If we do this, we can get some extra flush value. We just push through. Yeah, just trying to make the little things work. It's just not worth it. The 0 hurts too much. Wow, we earned a lot of kudos. Yeah, I guess this is a good job to be doing while we're popular. We should check the store. We haven't checked the store this year, I don't think. View the supply depot. Okay. Nothing new. I'm gonna buy 2 cakes, and I'm gonna give Tange and Dis cakes on their birthday. We'll see how that works. If you buy a cake, wait, is it that there's 4 in stock? I don't know what the 4 is. We'll buy one. Yes, okay, that's what it was. Alright, I will buy another one. Okay. These, I guess I could have waited until it was actually late wet, because their birthdays are late wet, but whatever. Let's check in with everybody real quick at the beginning of a new season. Nothing new for Nem. Hey, Nem. Would you like a crystal cluster? Would you like a yellow flower? You were waiting on because we want to make sure we can give you the gift at the right time. I guess it would be easier to find people's birthdays if I wasn't always giving people stuff in early season. Let's wait until mid-wet to give her the flower. How you doing, Dad? Okay, nothing new. Where are we at on animals? 58. We need an 80 for the next thing, though. Nothing new from Mom. Be organizing 20 to get this, which I don't know that I think is... I mean, it's not a bad card. Alright, more xenobotany. You run experiments. Experiments that involve lighting things on fire to see what happens. Who said doing science was for boring eggheads? This is great. Is this helpful? This doesn't feel that helpful. So 5 kudos if the total equals the goal, and I assume this will get doubled in with all the other stuff getting doubled, so let's make that happen if we can. Well, there we go. Okay, it didn't quite double everything. Some of the bonuses didn't get doubled. That +5 almost certainly. But that's a hell of a lot of kudos, man. Okay, now let's try giving Mars a gift. We'll try giving people gifts during mid for the next year. We know she likes yellow flowers. Okay. Oh, that passed the threshold apparently. And furthermore, your attitude toward your elders in general is entirely disrespectful. You find Uticott delivering a scathing reprimand to Mars, who is doing her level best to look like she'd rather be anywhere else. You speak out of turn, you question the council's decisions. If you disagree with an order, you simply do not do it. I could go on. Do you need me to go on? Mars scowls. No, she replies. Uticott clicks her tongue. I honestly thought better of you, Marzipan, she chastises. You have the sort of natural leadership ability I remember from when I was a girl, many years ago. Mars doesn't roll her eyes, but you get the sense that it's a close call. You need to set a better example for the other children, Uticott continues. It's okay to have your own opinions, but you kids can't just do whatever you want. You have to follow the rules and respect your elders. I am setting a good example, Mars retorts, stomping her foot. Hello? The only reason we're here is because a bunch of people knew living on Earth was nonsense and decided to do something different. Uticott looks scandalized, but Mars just continues on. Maybe we kids should have more authority. We're the ones with the new ideas that will take us into the future. Yeah, Mars is right. I think our character believes that very strongly. See, Mars insists. Everyone agrees with me. Well, the other kids do. You might be stuck on Vertumna, but your ancient old brain is still stuck back on Earth. She takes a deep breath and for a moment seems much older. Governor Uticott, we need higher walls and more aggressive farmland clearing, and we need it now. Are we here to stay on this planet, or will we just sit around until the jungle swallows us back up? I didn't know Mars had opinions about this stuff. We don't hang out with her that much. Unicott's mouth opens and closes a few times. Then she puts her hand to her forehead. Both of you, get back to your duties, she sighs. Marzipan, we will talk about this later in private. How old is Marzipan right now? 14? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that tracks. Alright, so I don't think... Oh, we haven't given Cal a gift this season yet. Cal takes a deep breath and lets it all out in a huge sigh. I love the smell of the air here, he says. It's not clean like the Strato, but like, it's fresh, if you know what I mean. It smells like dirt and compost and manure and growing things, and when I breathe it in, it's just... He takes another breath. It just reminds me that everything here is alive and important. Hey, buddy. Ooh, embarrassing lesson's interesting. You want to hear a fun nature fact? You tell him about the time Tange bought a skunk bug for show and tell in biology, and it got scared and made the worst, most smelliest, grossest stink you had ever smelled, and everyone thought Tange had farted. Oh, that's harsh. Then Professor Hal had to clear out the whole room, and it took weeks to get the smell out of the beanbags, and it was so gross. But also kind of neat how such a tiny bug could make a whole room of kids run away. Cal laughs. I remember that, Samhain. Except the way I heard it, it wasn't Tange, it was you. What? No. I'll say Tange is not depicted on the card, so... But no. Oh, wait, I didn't actually give him anything. My dude, I found something you might like. Do you like crystals? Nope. I'd probably have done that already. I think we've given him everything, though, haven't we? I think so. Yeah, anyway, biology. We're getting really close to that the next threshold. And also, I need to do research that helps cover, whatever's going on with the food supply. You're pulling weeds from the garden beds when you see Cal scurry past you, moving with a purpose. He doesn't even stop to say hello before he disappears into a barn. Well, obviously I follow. You slip into the barn behind Cal, and you're surprised to find him kneeling on the ground, feeding leaves to a small caterpillar-like creature. It scampers around him on its 6 stubby white feet, chirping and chittering at him. You're so surprised, actually, that you let the barn door close too loudly, and Cal's head snaps up. Samhain, he gasps, trying to scoot the creature behind him. Oh, come on, you know how my eyes are. What is that thing? Cal sighs and scoops up the creature, cradling it in his arms. It immediately flips over and shows Cal its soft pink belly, begging for scritchies. This is Socks, Cal says quietly. I found her cocoon in one of the first shipments of mushwood, and I named her species a dillypillar, 'cause I couldn't find anything like her in the Surveyor archives. I've been taking care of Socks for years, Cal insists. She's really sweet, I promise. Well, I'm not telling. It could be dangerous. But I do shit like this all the time. Well, I hope nobody finds out. Oh, same here, Cal says. Do you remember Mrs. Manners, the mouse we found on the stratospheric? The grown-ups wouldn't let us keep her. He frowns. I wonder what happened to her in engineering. Maybe Tange knows. He places Socks gently into the box and closes the lid. All right, go back to sleep, little buggy wuggy, he croons. Sleep tight. Samhain, can I get your help with something in the barn? Cal asks. You excuse yourself from planting and follow Cal. This is like a different day. Something's wrong with Socks, Cal says, closing the door behind you. She won't eat, and she cries all the time. Well, in theory, I have the perfect mix of skills, of high skills, to be useful in this situation, right? You look into Socks' crate. She's almost too big for it now, even curled up in a ball. She raises her head and peeps miserably at you, then curls even tighter, her bulbous antennae drooping. She looks paler, right? Cal says, coming up beside you. And she's always sleepy and cold. I don't know what else to do. She won't eat leaves anymore, or anything else I bring her. Potatoes, corn, wheat, beans. She just chews them and spits them out. He points to the lid of the box. She's been chewing on her box, too. he says. I'm worried she's going to chew her way out and escape while I'm not here. Cal rubs Socks under her chin, but she barely responds to his touch. You've been outside the walls, right, Samhain? Have you ever seen any animals like Socks, like full-grown ones? What do they eat? Yeah, I'll look next time I'm surveying. We'll figure it out. Maybe he should let her go. I don't know, but I'm going to try to solve this in the way that doesn't result in him having to do that. Thank you, Samhain, Cal says, sighing as he closes the box. I'm really worried. Yeah, me too, and I'm also a little worried that maybe I did not do the best thing just now. We're going to find out, I guess. So, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then also just like, well, sorry, but this has a value becomes 2. So this is where the 2 has to be. I would love to be able to throw a 5 onto the end there, but yeah, there's really just not another way, is there? Okay. Our popularity has worn off, sadly. Alright, so maybe this would be a good time to go outside the walls. We can look around for an event that has that animal. You spot Cal heading toward the barns at the far end of the farms. Hiya, Samhain, he waves. Hey, what's up? Just heading over to the barn, Cal says. I finished before everyone else today, so I told everyone I'm going to clean it. No one wants to get roped into helping, so it'll just be me and Socks. You should come with. Cal whistles as you enter the barn, and the chest where Socks sleeps starts to rattle. He laughs and pops the lid, hefting Socks up into his arms. Hey, girl, he coos. Time to get some forbidden daytime zoobies out. You and Cal play with Socks for a little while, chasing her around the barn. She chitters and stomps her stubby little legs, clearly enjoying the attention. After a while, Cal stops to catch his breath. Whew, he says. She's got so much energy. I don't know where it's coming from. It's not anything she's eating, that's for sure. I hope you find some food for her soon. I have a little while before I have to get back to work, Cal says. What should we do? Well, let's teach Socks a new trick. Hooray, animals. Oh yeah, Cal agrees. I've been working on getting her to follow directions lately. That's a great idea. You spend about a half hour teaching Socks how to shake a paw. There are a lot of paws to choose from, as she seems to delight in giving you a different one each time. You can't help but think that working with her like this might come in handy in the future. Yeah, maybe. Alright. Hey, Tange, I bought you a birthday cake. I hope that you think this is rad. You've remembered my birthday, she says, taking the cake and immediately setting it down on a side counter far away from any specimens. Well, it's something. I don't eat desserts, but it's the thought that counts. Okay. I was really hoping that would be more of a hit. Where's Dis? Where's my dude? My man, do you like a cake? Dis likes cakes. No. Dis shakes his head in frustration. Nobody ever asks me what I want. It isn't cake. Not on my birthday. Not ever. You try to ask him what he does want, but he pouts and doesn't want to answer. What's up with this guy and cake? We still don't know what his augment is, which is interesting. I wonder if he has like an eye thing like I do. Because he seems often very content to just like sit around and observe people. All right. So should we go out surveying or should we go out? I'm gonna do a survey if I can get the thing to trigger here. Let's survey the plains. Now we have very little playtime out here, but we haven't been to the plains in a little while, and I figure it's possible stuff will have respawned. And I'm hopeful that the event that might be relevant here will just have a creature like obviously visible on it. It looks like collectibles probably have not respawned. And then we'll do a rest in the gardens during glow. and hopefully get a level up for our pets. Starting to think this brilliant plan isn't actually going to work out. Well, I mean, that's a yellow one. That's definitely interesting. And over here is where the other yellow one used to be. Right through all this stuff and then down and around. It's going to be kind of annoying to run back to the other yellow exclamation point, but it is nice to be able to just, like, cruise past these things. Okay, yeah, and here's the normal end of the area as we had reached it. Okay, well, let's go hit that other yellow exclamation point and hope that it is relevant to one of the lines of inquiry that we are currently on. Who doesn't like cakes? I don't know. You spy a creature that kind of reminds you of Cal's illicit pet socks. A dilly pillar, maybe. Except it's huge. Really, really long. Like as long as the stratospheric. Enormous. Could it be the same? You aren't totally sure. You watch it using your holoculars. So far in the distance, it looks like a train crawling along one of the great cliffs along the resting ridges to the west. It crawls down the cliff face toward the Great Plains not far from you. We're really good at observing things from a distance. So I think we probably just stay back. I mean, I don't want to miss it, but I also don't want to spook it in some way. I'm going to stay back and watch from afar. It sniffs around the base of the cliff for a long time. The cliff is made of sparkling iridescent rock, almost the same shimmer as the dilly pillar's scales. Pretty. Oh no, that's annoying. The dilly pillar starts to eat something and you can't see what from so far away. It seems to be eating something that grows in the rocks. It grazes for nearly an hour, then crawls back up. You take diligent survey notes, but you have another motive. Whatever this creature was eating, maybe Socks needs it too. After it leaves, you investigate the base of the cliff where it had been. There are some scrubby grasses growing there that seem pretty common. You grab a few handfuls, and a flower you've never seen before. Orange and kind of lumpy. You uproot a few of these as well to bring back to Socks. Alright. So we did get it. We got what we needed, really. And we're very close to our next animals level up. And it's glow time. And Dis has disappeared on us. Nem, what's up? Okay, nothing different from last year. Do you like bobber fruit? We don't know what you like yet, right? Oh no, that's right, we do know. It's the Xeno eggs. Well, here, have this mushwood log for a point. Dis. Would you like a yellow flower, perhaps? Because I don't have a medicinal root for you. Okay, I mean, it's a point. Whatever. 74. Alright, I think we can just go and relax in the park here. You and Cal walk through the park, a special place set aside for growing ornamental plants from Earth. It was grown from a precious seed bank, preserved for over 20 years aboard the Stratospheric, before your mother started planting them here on Vertumna. Almost nothing here is grown for food, though many of them are technically edible. It's so green here, Cal says, stopping to smell a bush of fist-sized red flowers with velvety petals. Wow. They smell so sweet. Yeah, it's so weird. Since you've never seen Earth, many of these plants are actually more alien to you than Vertumna's native species. You've seen them in holovids, but you don't really know their names or anything. You stop by a cluster of low-lying bushes with light purple flowers. They smell incredible, like Antecedent's special lavender soy cakes. So this must be what Antecedent uses to flavor them. Oh, is this lavender? Neat. You know, my mom worked really hard on this. Your mom brought these flower seeds from Earth and somehow found time to cultivate them here, even though there was so much work to do on the farm. It just goes to show there's still a lot about your mom you don't know. It's so peaceful. Cal breathes deep, a funny smile on his face. It really is. This is one of my favorite places in the whole colony. You can really feel the love in every plant. One pretty white flower in particular is flourishing here. The astrantia, your mother's favorite. It seems to be growing faster than even native plants do, covering the paths and bluffs with tiny white stars. You practically have to push clumps of it aside in some places just to make sure you don't crush any. Good thing it's so beautiful. Okay. Do I want to forget a red too? I would rather forget a red 1, honestly. But yeah, like, as much as it is nice to be able to build straights, we have so many high value red cards. We are absolutely going to be building like of a kinds with red more often. I think we can drop this. Another year, another glow. Everyone's pretty sure there's going to be an attack this year, so the colony's on high alert. You're collecting glowflies in the geoponics garden with Cal and Nem when the sirens begin to wail. You all stop what you're doing and look at each other nervously. Your parents run off to help defend the farms, telling you to get inside the greenhouses and stay quiet. Nem declares she's going to the walls to watch the soldiers fight. She knows a good spot. I'm going to get out there and help defend the gates. You know what I do. You scramble down the walls and are immediately faced with a seething wall of hop eyes. You kind of thought there were only a handful of these usually peaceful creatures in the previous years, but there's swarms of them now. And not just hop eyes. Once your eyes adjust to the chaos, you can see large creatures that look like walking bushes. These wild centipede-looking things with long spider legs, and at least one many-eyed thing that's hovering clear off the ground, defying gravity. They all seem to be incited into a frenzy, attacking everything in sight and trying to get through the walls. It's dark and chaotic. Com sees you through the fray. Samhain, he shouts, "Get to safety!" You're suddenly not sure this is a good idea, but then you look up and see Nem shouting encouragement from up on the wall, and I don't have the combat skills necessary to do anything other than fight like a brave idiot, so that's what I'm going to do. Making up with guts for what you lack in sensor skill, you charge in without a plan or a weapon. That's probably a bad idea. You're immediately rammed in the side by what looks like a living pile of rocks, and you go down. You see sky, then dirt, then sky again as you're tossed through the air, before you land in a heap at the base of the wall. Through the ringing in your ears, you can hear Nem screaming for Com to help. So we are injured. Heal by relaxing. Okay. You stumble to your feet, body vibrating with adrenaline. You can feel blood trickling over your face, and it hurts like someone stabbing you in the chest when you breathe. Com runs over and sends bolts of energy coursing from his stun gloves to the creature, but being mostly comprised of rock, it seems unfazed. It does, however, swing its head to look at him, giving you a chance to flee, and instead, I step the fuck up. Difficulty impossible. Well, 104 is very serious. So we could do like 4, 5, 6 to start. That feels pretty strong. Could I... No, I'm not going to be able to set this higher, right? Well, okay, no, if I plus 1... Am I only allowed to apply bonuses to cards once? Because I'm thinking if we plus 2 and plus 1 a Grand Feast, we can get it to a 7. and put it on the other side of the straight. Buy ourselves a little bit more space. And then we can do the same thing with this. And I guess I would also do it with this. So there we go. That's nearly a third of what we need in the first hand. That's a pretty good start. We have 9 more mushwood logs. Can I just keep... Yeah, I can. I'm just gonna like really juice this. We're gonna stop here in case I want to have some mushwood logs left for correcting things like industrates and whatnot. But opening with a 43, I think is going to give us some hope here. +5 bonus to red pears. That's really interesting. What am I doing? That's the wrong way to... I was like, oh, a +2. It'll be a 6 and a 6. That's not how that works, sweetie. But we could log this one up to 8. Right, what if I just do that? That's another 29. Okay, so we only have to make 32 in this last hand, and we have pretty low stress, so we can stress through quite a bit. So we can get a 6 here. We can do like a 4, 5, 6 thing. And then if I +1 this... oh, I turned it yellow. Wait, shouldn't it give... It was a 0 before. It was only a +1 because it was getting physical red. Yeah, and that only applies to red pears, which... Right, doesn't quite work. I mean, it's easy enough to just hit the push through on this. Would I rather... I forgot that turning this red was going to make the pair bonus not... Or turning it yellow was going to make the pair bonus not make sense. I think I just push through. We could rearrange this and get... We could get the pink candy out and lose the embarrassing lesson. But there's an extra point in a straight for us. I guess, though, if this is not working out as a pair very well, I may as well flower it one more time. Hold on. Flower one more time and extend the straight. And then there's a lot of stuff we could do here to not have to stress, but I think I'm fine stressing once. I could spend our last log on this to just make it you know what? We find logs so frequently. Let's just take a win. Take a non-stressed win, like a real win. Okay. We learned a little something about combat. Your broken body is leaking like a garden hose, but somehow, you manage to improvise a spear out of a bit of rebar from the ever-present construction and throw yourself at the gargantuan creature. You and Calm duck and weave around the monster, him getting its attention and you jamming your spear into its armored body, looking for weak points. It seems impossible. The thing is all rock. You can feel yourself beginning to lose hold of reality, your vision fuzzing out at the edges. But finally, Calm yells, there, as it roars. You lunge for its snapjaw mouth and jam the spear in and up. You can feel its flesh parting as the spear lodges up in its brain cage and sticks. And the spear is ripped out of your hands as the creature howls in pain and rears up on its hind legs. With a mighty crash, it collapses to the ground. Ooh. Anemone thought that was cool. Also, look at all the kudos. Also, felling a giant, that's a 9 with a gem on it even. Calm limps over to you and supports you before you crumple with it. I don't know how we did that, he says, awestruck, but it's probably the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. The most stupid, he laughs, but also the coolest. All right, come on, let's get you to medbay, hero. Your parents are arguing quietly at your little table. I'm telling you, it wasn't a fluke, your mom says. They're not just wild animals. They have a plan. The fields, the lights. Okay, your dad replies, taking her hands across the tabletop. We have to tell people what we saw in geoponics. Yo, I'm very curious. They look up, noticing you in the doorway. Your dad's worried expression quickly changes to a smile. Hey, Rutabaga. Then he sees that you're limping, still a little loopy from the medbed. Samhain, what happened? Are you hurt? Wait, what? What happened to the fields? What were you just talking about? Your mom stands up. Don't worry about that, she snaps. You get to bed. It's late, and we have a lot of work to do tomorrow to clean up. Huh. Well, they're going to tell people, right? We're going to be able to find out. Oh, people's art is starting to change. I think this is new art for us as well. I don't think we've had that one before. Hey, Cal. You find Cal in the gardening shed, splitting his lunch with socks. Here, girl, eat up, he says, feeding her little nuggets of cubed trippet by hand. She chirps and twines around his arm, waving her little front feet. He sees you and jumps, then relaxes when he realizes it's only you. She usually just eats a little bit of the harvest, he confides sheepishly, but with everyone watching the food so closely, I didn't want her to get in trouble. Yeah, I found something you might like. Actually, no, I didn't. I do not have a lot of gifts and I need to prioritize them. I'm sorry. I love you, though. How are y'all doing? Keeping secrets. Okay. Nothing to say. Yep. Here's Samhain. Eat up. You need your strength. Soy ration bar from her pocket. Food is getting scarce, huh? She's like double checking to make sure we have enough to eat. Wow. Mars's art changed a lot more than Cal's. Do you go to engineering much? Mars asks. I tried to go talk to Tangent because she never wants to just hang out anymore. Not since she started working on that big project. Mars snaps her gum. You know about that, right? Or am I just special? Do I have any yellow flowers left? I don't. I used them all. I apologize. I would give you one if I did. Yeah, I keep hearing about Tangent's big project. Oh, wow. She changed up her look, too. Tangent looks up from her hollow palm, blinking as her eyes refocus on the middle distance, and then on you. Her previously long hair is gone, buzzed close to the scalp. You almost didn't recognize her when you first saw her. You wonder if it was caused by a lab accident or something. Hello, Samhain, she says, already cagey. Did you need something? Does she want me to comment on it? She did it. When I changed my hair, when I buzzed the side of my head, I definitely wanted people to notice. This is kind of like that, except, all the sides of her head. We're friends. She probably won't be weird, but I'm going to say something. Hey, hair. I mean, what's up with your hair? Tan shrugs. It's too hot here, she says dismissively. If evolution hasn't seen fit to solve the problem, then adaptive behaviors will have to do. We can get flirty. I don't have the empathy to get the real story. I don't think she's going to react well to get flirty. She was just talking about how she's not into the whole sweaty bodies all over each other thing. I'm just going to say I like it. She shrugs again. Would you like me to add you to the tally of people who have an opinion about my personal appearance? It's quite riveting if you're into that sort of thing. Tange returns to her reports. It's not about looking good, she says. This is just more efficient. Okay, damn. Anyway. Tange is tapping away at a hollow screen, smiling to herself. Great news, Samhain, she says. According to the antiquated, culturally insensitive reckoning of mental prowess once used by humans on Earth, and by that I mean IQ testing, I am officially considered a genius. She shrugs. Tell me something I do not know. Yeah, I mean, first of all, that's fair. She is absolutely the kind of person that IQ tests reflect highly on, but also IQ testing is like hot nonsense. It measures aptitude in a very narrow set of skills. Here, I have something for you. I brought you, I'm going to give the medicinal roots to her brother, so you can have this crystal cluster. Yo, what's up, Nem? You find Nem in the sports ball bleachers, intently focused on her hollow palm. She looks frustrated by whatever's on it. Hey, what's up? I don't know what to get Calm for his birthday, she grumbles. I have to top last year when I made up a sports ball trophy and gave it to him. She turns off her hollow palm. I'm just running out of ideas, you know? Yeah, well, what kind of stuff does he like? I don't know, cool stuff, like sports ball and defense squad stuff? She smiles and rubs her nose. He's the best brother. He always plays with me in the triplets, even if he's zonked from work, and he never gets mad or teases when I get in trouble. He's just like... Nem sits up straighter and squares her shoulders, imitating Calm. You know, Nemi, she says, lowering her voice, you have to play by the rules. Nem picks at a blue-scaled scab on her knee. I love him the most out of anyone here. I just want to get him something good. Well, I think he'd appreciate something from the heart. You know, he knows how much you care. Yeah, you're probably right, Nem says. I don't want to get him like a little kid gift, you know? Like how Mom taught us to make stuff with macaroni and glue. The problem is, I'm not good at that stuff, she complains. What's something I could do that's easy but still cool? Well, what about a picture of the two of you? I think this is actually a great idea. As long as I don't gotta put macaroni on the frame, Nem replies, laughing. But yeah, that's nice. He'll probably move out of the family quarters soon, and that way he'll already have a picture of us to take with him. She jolts up. Oh, I have the perfect picture, too. Thanks, Owen. This is a great idea. Hey, Squirt, what are you doing up there? You look down at the pitch where Calm is standing with a sports ball under his arm and an easy smile. Is this knucklehead bothering you? Nem gasps, then laughs. Calm, she whines. Samhain is my friend. We're just talking. Calm drops the sports ball to the ground and rolls it under his heel. Well, I'm getting the team together to run some drills. She could come, too. Nem looks at you hopefully. You know what? Sure, I could use the practice. Nem cheers and scampers down the bleachers, launching herself into a full-body hug with Calm. You follow her descent more cautiously, listening to her chatter with Calm about her day as they walk together across the pitch. She really loves her big brother. Wild. I never had that relationship, like a relationship that close with a family member. You catch Dis on a ridge overlooking the wilderness, bobbing his head along to something playing through his hearspeak. He doesn't notice you walk up. He jumps when you tap him on the shoulder and scrambles to turn off his hollow palm. Yo, don't sneak up on me like that, he grumbles, then flops backward on the grass to look up at you. Man, I was just getting to the good part of the song. Well, what are you listening to? Dis looks away. Just some old music from Earth. You probably wouldn't like it. Hey, try me. You sit down beside Dis and extend your hand to link your hollow palms. Dis stares at you for a few seconds before pressing his palm to yours, and music floods your brain through your hearspeak. Dis takes his hand back and weaves his fingers together, timid. I listen to a lot of Earth music, he says. Do you like it? I like that they actually started a real song. I am 0% surprised that this is what Dis listens to. Like, something that's kind of like mournful and wistful would absolutely have been my guess. If he was listening to the space equivalent of, like, I don't know, Rilo Kiley. When I was this age, I was very into, yeah. Dis and, I see myself in Dis and Tange, some version of myself in the space between them, way more than in any other character here. Especially way more than in the character we're playing, who is not like me very much at all. Yeah, I love this band. Dis cracks a small smile, relieved. Good, he says. It's my favorite right now. I always listen to the same album on repeat. It's comfort music. I really like her voice. Yo, I do this too. Dis is neurodivergent, right? Like, that's pretty obvious. He stares into his lap. Sometimes I feel like the lyrics are about me, he admits. They're just so deep. Like, my soul really gets this kind of music. I'm experiencing a little bit of vicarious embarrassment, actually, because of how much this sounds like teenage me. But don't tell anyone, okay? It makes me feel better thinking that someone knows my pain, even if it's just a dead Earth woman. Yeah, sounds deep, man. Even regardless of what we think here, actually, we are not going to say anything that could embarrass him in this moment, because he's going to be very vulnerable to that. We're just going to go along. Yeah, it sounds deep, man. Dis nods and closes his eyes. Yeah, he replies. I have a lot of time to think. Not like everyone else here. Huh. You lie back in the grass and listen to Dis's music for a while. I do not have the musical anything to introduce him to some new music. And I don't know if I want to... Kid is in a difficult place, like very difficult. And as much as... I don't think I want to complicate that. I think he needs a friend way more than he needs anything else. He needs somebody to be there for him. I'm just going to enjoy the time with him. Traditionally, he has very much liked when we just hang out and don't press, you know? You and Dis lie in the grass and listen to music, trading different songs back and forth until dark and the bell rings to close the gates for the night. And then we keep his music on. I like that. I've been foraging a lot, Dis says, hitching his bulging backpack up on his shoulder. There's a lot to eat, if you don't mind eating bugs and mushrooms. Yeah? How about some medicinal roots? Yeah, cool. I'm a little surprised that the music hangout didn't result in more friendship points, but like I'm glad that we did that. So, we do have need of going out and exploring what's outside the walls. But I think do we want to do that first? Yeah, I guess we should, because we can collect new samples to take out. Actually, we should see if we're allowed to go to a new area. We are not. Oh, right, I'm injured. I can't, yeah. Am I allowed to do anything other than rest? Do I have to rest? Okay, I can do brain stuff. So maybe... Do we want to relax in the park right away? It feels like a terrible waste. I guess let's do a little xenobotany research. Plus, we're like right at the threshold of a thing. You visit Cal and Socks before your work shift one morning just to check up on them. As you expected, Cal has Socks out for her twice daily playtime. Hey, Zoan, he says, waving. Look what I taught Socks to do. At his gesture, Socks stands up on her hind legs and wiggles her upper body at you like she's waving too. That's impressive. Who's a smart girl? You are? Next, Cal gestures in a circle and Socks curls up in a ball. Then he raises both hands in the air like a scary monster, and Socks rears up and chitters menacingly. Cal says, pew pew, and Socks rolls over and sticks all her feet in the air. You count at least 14 legs. Huh. How do you find food for it? Did we resolve the food thing? It seems like that plotline just kind of disappeared. Cal looks distressed. It's really hard, he admits. She eats so much right now. Tons of leaves and grasses, and those rocks, of course. I think she swallows them all together and chews it up in her guts like a float cow. Her teeth look like they go all the way down her throat. I don't know if I can keep hiding how much food she eats, though. Yeah. What happens when she outgrows her box? Socks clambers up Cal's arm, almost toppling him over with her weight, and curls up across his shoulders like a scarf. She looks seriously heavy. Well, people hardly use this barn anymore, Cal says, adjusting her weight. I mean, it's just storage. Maybe she could live in the rafters. You're pretty sure your mom comes in here often as the head of geoponics, but you hold your tongue. Socks hasn't been discovered yet. Maybe she's really good at hiding. I mean, do you think she gets lonely? It might be time to try to talk Cal into letting her return to nature. Cal looks down at the ground. I think so. She used to sleep all the time, but now she needs to run around and climb a lot more. I still come here every morning and evening to let her out, he says defensively. And she goes back into her box right away when I tell her. She's a good dilly piller, I promise. She knows she's not supposed to go outside without me. He pets her snout. I think maybe she's just not a baby anymore, you know? Yeah. We'll talk later, my dude, but I think that, yeah, that's okay. Everything's got to get sad. So we have to get to 29 on this. Well, we can do a 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the right way to do this? We can make this blue. It's really awkward though, because like then we just have this like other blue that's on the outside that's not doing anything. We could try to run. Okay, how about this? What if we do? This is really awkward. Because we want to turn either. All right, so we do it like this. That gets us the straight and the, yeah. That's probably the best possible, right? All right, that is another biology bonus. Oh, right, and also it's my birthday. I totally forgot. You wake from a night of blissfully peaceful dreams. No nightmares, no premonitions, just a pleasant feeling of contentment. You stretch your arms over your head, blinking in the watery, quiet sunlight that seeps through the porthole window. Things are always changing on Vertumna, but you can't help but feel like things are changing for yourself, too. Not just your body, but your mind. Your emotions, your future. 14 is going to be your year. That's extremely ominous. Your parents have been working around the clock since the last attack, trying to get the fields right again in time for this year's planting. Spark snow has already started falling, and every day they come home complaining about having to clear it. They asked you to ping them when you're awake so you can share birthday breakfast in your quarters, instead of sitting shoulder to shoulder with everyone else during breakfast service in the canteen. You fire them a message and lie back in your bunk, watching dust motes float lazily in the light. After a minute, there's a knock at the door. And it's Antecedent. She sweeps into your room in a bustle of skirts and shawls, and sits down beside you on your bunk. Oh, look at you, she says. Happy birthday, beautiful. 14 years old. She leans in and gives you a motherly kiss on the forehead. It's been years since she took care of you in the children's creche, but all the kids still call her auntie and think of her as a close relative. Her sweet baking bread smell is as comforting as it ever was. She sits back and takes one of your hands in both of hers. Samhain, ever since I held you in my arms as a baby, I knew you were so special, so important. You're becoming a young woman, but I want you to know I will always, always be here for you, just like your mom and dad, she says firmly. I don't think we're an I don't want to grow up kid. Interesting. So we have a pretty good, like, I don't think yellow cards are very compelling for us. Our deck is mostly blue and red. And in addition, I definitely think Smart for my age is, like, obviously just a better card. And I do feel like our character is, like, embarrassed by displays of affection from dad and stuff. So yeah, I'm going to say, oh, okay, enough with the mushy stuff. She laughs and releases your hand. Well then, Miss Maturity, how about you call me Aunt Anne like the other, from now on, like all the other adults do. I got all the sounds in there eventually. Now, come on in here, Aunt Anne says, spreading her arms wide. Give us a great big hug. You hug her, enveloping yourself in the warm and familiar softness of her. Over her shoulder, you see Nem standing in the doorway. Well, her hair, anyway. She's been growing it out, and there's no hiding it behind a corner. She skips into your quarters. Happy birthday, bud, she says, bouncing on your bunk. Way to get older. Enjoy being 2 years older than me for a few months. Thanks. It's good you're both here, Anne says. Now that you've been menstruating for about a year, Nem makes a face and mutters yuck, but Anne continues. You're both eligible for the cessation implant. Among other things, it will prevent the bleeding and pain and the emotional roller coaster of your monthly cycle. I like that we're getting more like full-size art of the characters now. Mom, Nem hollers. Gross. Do you have to tell everybody about my cycle? I just don't want to get pregnant, okay? Anne laughs. Well, yes, that is the among other things part. But I don't expect you two to be needing that part for a few years yet, right? Nem looks disgusted by the prospect. Or maybe just by her mom talking about it. I'm not gonna... I was thinking about this. I was thinking that maybe it does make sense for our character to get flirty with Anemone, although honestly, I think Cal is also a pretty strong choice for us. But I do not think I'm going to do it in front of her mom. Again, our character is a pretty high threshold for gross out. So, what's the matter? Scared? No, Nem exclaims, punching you in the arm. No, of course not. It just super sucks that now everyone's talking about how I'm becoming a woman and how I'll finally look different than my brothers. Duh. She points at you. Don't you start too. I'll still kick your ass at sports ball even with cramps. Yeah, it's been a long time since you kicked my ass at sports ball, sweetie. Your parents finally arrive, still damp from the fields and bringing in the smell of crisp, tangy snow on their clothes. Oh look, birthday visitors, your dad exclaims. Anne, are you staying for breakfast? See, I kind of like the idea of our character trying for a relationship with Anemone because I think it has like an interesting sort of competitive character. But I feel like we have spent a lot of time together since we were young. And we really we probably have really a very strong rapport built up, especially from like playing games together all that time. And I think that makes a lot of sense to me. And also as a relationship, I just feel like it has kind of an interesting flavor. So I do think that might be the direction I try to lean rather than Cal, but I wonder if this game has polyamory in it. But I don't, like I said, I don't think it's appropriate to start it in front of her mom. Your parents, yeah, okay, I just read this. Anne reaches into her bag and brings out a stack of tiffins. No, thank you, but I brought your order with me from the kitchen, seeing as I was stopping by. She pats your hand one more time. Happy birthday again, Samhain. You'll always be my baby, even when you're all grown up. What a weird thing to say to someone in front of their parents. Your mom shakes her head as Anne and Nem leave. Oh, Anne, she laughs, sentimental to the core. She starts laying out the cutlery for breakfast. But I don't know how the colony would manage without her in the children's creche, she says, and points a fork at you. Family is more than the people that birthed you, Samhain, and don't you forget it. That was a sweet little scene. Oh, yeah, what's our biology perk? Collectibles respawn even faster and even more slots are filled. Okay. So let's have a quick run around and see if there's any inside the walls. We're going to have to rest pretty soon. I'm debating how far I want to push it, because like obviously I do want to get outside the walls as soon as possible. Did we have what were the options that were visible? So it's still just nearby and the plains. I wonder how we get access to hard to say. All right, anyway, I think we probably just need to call it there. Oh, did our pets get upgraded? Did that happen? No. A lot of stuff happened when we tried to rest at the dome. Maybe we need the rest to do less stuff. I kind of want to get to the organizing perk and have them both equipped when we rest too and see if that affects it at all. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is, aside from call the episode here for today, because we're already 70 minutes into this thing. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When y'all return next time, we're going to have to figure out a way of dealing with this injury, and all of the other stuff I was talking about. And then also, apparently, puberty and romance and so many other nightmares. Things are just going to keep getting more complicated. And we'll see you then.